Welcome back in National Anthony. Looking at the performance on market, we're seeing things like the top. I would love to the particular and discuss see if it's stable. Now, holding company has been in the year in East Africa, of course. Companies in 19 of insurance of together with agriculture of economic and the development finance company of Limited. Jubilee is the leading companies in Uganda. Jubilee Holdings is listed on the security exchange, listed since the year 2006. It's day 6. That's when holdings listed on the exchange, and Jubilee is trading USE under the ticker symbol JS. That is what you will find on the Uganda security. The international securities identification number of USE Jubilee Holdings counter is 00007, and the company is the most valuable on the stock market. Now, whenever we are talking what is the share listed on this particular equity, the exchange, and we're seeing that in terms of value, the Jubilee insurance company comes in the 8th position on the security exchange, and it has market 128 billion Ugandan shillings, which represents about 2.22% of the total market, which is well about trillion shillings. Now, the performance particular counter for as you can see on the graph here at this screen, you can see that the prices have been fluctuating quite recently, though not much. For example, the month of June, we are the prices a little above the 8,000 mark, and right now they are quite below the 8,000 mark, but very close to 8,000. We can see that hasn't been the case. That in June, the month of May, there were high prices of 1,000, 8,100, and low prices of as low as maybe 700, 800 in certain days. But we see that the price hasn't that much changed, and not much in price occurred over the couple of weeks and months in the year 2022. And looking back in January, however, the price was well above 8,000, close to 800, 8,300, and then it came slightly down at the 8,000 mark around the beginning of the month of March, and the price averagely has been at 8 since the year 2022 began, after that slight decrease in January 2022. And we're seeing before the month of January, prices were well above the 9,000 mark, almost reaching 10K, and definitely we can see in November, before the month of November, the prices were about that was something there for you to note, that actually this talk came from 1,000. Ugandan shillings in the year 2021, around September, around November, at the end of the year 1. But that since the beginning of the year 2022, went as low as 1,000, and right now they're struggling to just come back to that particular mark on the exchange. So briefly, we can say that it's quite a stable counter. Prices don't see much fluctuations. The market activity is not also that active. We're not seeing much activity on this particular counter. Like most stocks that are cross-listed here, we don't see that vigorous activity the way we see it in Stanbic, Meme, the way we see it now, right now in MTN, almost trading every day. We don't see much Jubilee Holdings Limited, but as of yesterday, we're seeing the price went up by 150.94. That is a 1.93% increase in the price of the Jubilee Holdings counter. And the current opening price this morning was 972.5 Ugandan shillings. Now, looking into some of the we are seeing here, the trading prices were not disclosed. Was the price or the day's high price, but is the shares outstanding, which is the total value number of shares outstanding, 9 million by 7, and the value of 59 million 428 Ugandan. That is the current really hold of issue things on the exchange seen compete in sectors with national corporation who currently is trading at 6, closing yesterday. We also have FCU Bank at 550 Ugandan shillings yesterday. Then we have Kenya Commercial Bank at exactly 4.3, and Equity Bank of Baroda, Stanbic Bank, and as well as Centum Investment Company. These are some of the competitors for Jubilee Holdings, but like we've seen, not much activity on the market, and not many fluctuations in price for the Jubilee Holdings stock. So yeah, you can choose to invest in this company or other companies, but all you have to do right get your smartphone, get your small phone, and dial *1, and then option, then CD. Probably some of these very holding to on markets. You definitely been at the counters of been this, but not trading. Also of value, price value, seen up on second. Then you company and group is emerging subscribe over Africa and East, listed on the Johannesburg exchange in stock area, Ghana exchange, and Uganda listed on the Uganda exchange on the December, the year was 21. The sub, of course, we have over 22 million subscribers of MTN. Of course, it has operations in Benin, Botswana, Cameroon, Ivory, Iran, Cyprus, Guinea-Bissau, Congo Republic, South Sudan, South Africa, and South Sudan, Swaziland, Yemen, as well as Zambia. MTN listed on the since December, like we've mentioned, and it's trying to MTN, and this MTN was found at the terms of the national identification 001566, and MTN Uganda is currently the Uganda exchange amortization 4.6 billion shillings, well, makes it about 90% of the entire Uganda. That is the market there. Now, looking at this graph of MTN stock performance over a couple of months, that this MTN counter has several in prices, and we are actually many in just of recent, as we see also when it comes to exchange of people with questions had never IPO. Some people what this really means for MTN and for other for other stakeholders. Are they going to own the company? Are they going to buy out? Are the people that are selling? What's really happening? So on December, we witnessed that initial public offer, and MTN issued this at a price of 200 shillings, and they issued a couple of to their shareholders, the very first shareholders. Remember, every time we have the initial public offer, it's quite a phenomenal event, and definitely the first people to buy shares are phenomenal because they're part of that history for that particular company for the very first time. And opening that 200 shillings, we saw that actually the price started going a little bit. Particular downward price quickly at the end of the month 90, 190, and then 100. Start of we see that was one January 31st. January that even 100 in Feb. That was rock bottom. He has 60. We see that it up and went 100 and in, it was closed 20 February 2. Now we see their prices of sometime March 100 and 70 price. And in the market, you see extra situation. You see people to 100 and between those prices in the month of March 2022, and then we see that later on the prices leveled off in the month of May as we closed the month of March, and definitely we saw that at about a price of 185. Now hitting 185. We see some peaks there, but still the stock went down in the month of June from 185 downwards to around 170 and 175. And recently we saw it go down to as low as 170, and it then come up really strong of recent, as we saw during the several bullet market here. So, and currently today we see that the price went up to 190, and that was a 0.12 Uganda shillings increase in price for the counter there at the Uganda Security Exchange, and that represented a 0.06% increase. And moving down to the trading results, that is the last day's trading results. If you could just check those out, we see that the traded volume yesterday was 1,230 shares that were traded on this counter, and the gross turnover of that was 235,220. The shares outstanding currently 24 billion outstanding, and represents a market capitalization of over 4.26 trillion Ugandan shillings worth of shares that are listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange. And looking into the performance as per prices, looking at a 1 week performance, a daily performance, the 4 weeks, 3 months, the 6 months, and the 1 year performance, as well as the year to date, the stock on MTN just yesterday gained by about 0.1% gain, and of course 89.88 and shilling, and close 100. Uganda here with, of course, for Uganda has 2% stock has right to performance in the value 5%. MTN fourth most traded stock on the Uganda Security Exchange, and when I'm talking about traded, I'm not talking about value, I'm not talking about the shares outstanding, I'm talking about activity. How many people buy, how many people sell on daily, on average in a trading session. It is ranked in the 4th position in terms of the most traded stock. Remember, we have 18 listings of equities on the Uganda Security Exchange, and it comes number 4. That is for the performance, based on the performance over the last 3 months, starting April 4th to July 14th in the year 2022. MTN has a total traded volume of about 12.3 million shares, valued at 2.29 billion Ugandan shillings over this period since April 4th till July 13th yesterday, with, of course, a volume high of 2.11 million. It was achieved by 12th and for the same period, and definitely the table now here shows the current, if you can just see how the volumes have been traded over the last 3 months. Now looking at just the month of July alone, we see that yesterday the volume was about 1,238, closing the market at 190. But if we can go back the day before, we had 274,226 shares that were traded at closing and closing the market at 189.88 Ugandan shillings, and that was also a 0.09% increase. Then on the 12th of July, in that particular date, we had 2.105 million shares, and that was one of the highest volume recorded in the last 3 months on this particular counter of MTN. We still had an appreciation of about 2.58% in prices. And then on the 7th On the 11th of July, we had 201,000 shares traded, and on 8th of July, over 119,111 shares trading. And that gives you a brief about why MTN is the fourth most traded stock. Because if you can look at these volumes, that they're not, you can find several trading per day. We will mention in there some of the most. MTN is in terms of volume of trading, but the market has always a trade. You have a or a volume. Generally, it's an counter because it means easily mindset. The the place that we all unique need so need they are able to see this activity and Uganda 9 telecommunication sector, mobile communication in particular, and MTN total employees one number, and it does yet, and there are some that probably other company the exchange, but we await that, of course, from the exchange mandate company. Why? Because IPO company listed I at least fresh memories. It was like buying in 200 back then, December 21. This bought it for at least MTN at least given the seeing market. It an opinion active one that I think growth is out of say that easily, and we have leadership after their CEO who for quite for particular organization was promoted to in West Africa, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and now CEO of who with the new expertise, a little bit of things that MTN has been facing us. One of the things you should look in for investing is that leadership. You are a company have lead definitely pick notes in a company like Faricom. The we is store exchange telecom still Kenya expanding Ethiopia and all these other places. So looking at grown. So if someone is coming from history, leadership, history, experience, that the particular good and one of the indicators in best rate Uganda as when we look at performance, July comparing we are seeing that in 4 weeks, value of 86 in valuation, and week of 6% has been 3 months. We see over 1%. The 6 we see a 0.4% in 1 year, 7%, where it performed 2.5%. Meaning it's just picking up performance vis-a-vis the current performance periods, as we have mentioned, 1 month, 6 months. All these are of the company future, how this company do in the future, and in my opinion, do stock market, the stock access you exchange to take break, breathe, right back account, British. How did trade and what big didn't do